Now, my next guest, Nicola Hughes, is a psychotherapist who's based in Leeds who has turned both her personal and professional experiences into a book. She hopes this book can offer recognition, honesty, and solidarity to the parents. Her book is called Sent: The Emails I Sent, The Silence That Followed. Nicola is in studio with me now to tell me all about it. Nicola, good afternoon. Welcome to BBC Radio Leeds.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's great to have you here in studio. Nicola, would you be kind enough just to tell me about the moment when it came to you and you went, I think I need to write a book here. I think I need to get this down and get this out.
Yeah, I can tell you the exact moment.
Yeah.
I was looking through an old journal last night, 15th of the 8th, 2024. It says, I'm getting a feeling that I need to write this down and make it into a book.
Wow.
I wrote that in my journal. I just discovered it last night.
Wow. Talk about some of those hard moments of what it means being a parent of someone who is SEND.
Big question.
Big question.
It's a very big question. My child actually isn't difficult. I understand my children. I know what they need. So, but some children are quite hard to manage. So for me, it wasn't that. It was not the child or the children. It is the system. So without anyone doing anything wrong on purpose, the system isn't set up very well. Within that, the professionals aren't following the laws, aren't keeping to guidelines, are lying. And then lower down than that, the professionals in the schools that you see that do assessments, that teach your children, that head it up, they don't know the laws properly, but they talk as if they do. There isn't enough support, funding and help, but it comes back down on the parents. We get blamed, so we email in a lot and say that this hasn't been resolved, or we start, our emails are quite nice to begin with, lots of niceties, hi, how are you, just wanted to bring this small point up, and then I've worked out I get now to about email 4 on the same issue,
Patience has run
and I'm
out.
like, I've just please do the job.
Are you being ignored, or are people just not delivering on what you're
Sometimes I'm ignored. So
Yeah.
you might write an email and some of the points aren't brought up, picked up on. It might be minimised, or these statements where we'll keep an eye on it, well not, because the same thing happens over again, or he's fine, or we don't see this in school, but we know he masks. That's a pet peeve of mine. Professionals say that all the time. We know he masks, or we know they mask. But actually, if you knew they masked, then we wouldn't be having this conversation, because you would then understand what you need to do to meet his needs.
As your career as a psychotherapist, you kind of have dealt with both ends and all aspects of this. So you've obviously dealt with the professional side of the system before. Now, as a parent on the other end of it, what do you think are the most challenging and most difficult things from the parent's point of view of the system?
The corruption. The system is corrupt, and that's why I had to write a book, because it's very hard in 5 minutes to explain to anyone what the hardship is. But I say quite early on in the book, I feel like I've been kind of taken hostage by like the drug lords, mafia. I was probably influenced by someone I was watching at the time. But that's what it felt like. I felt like I was very unsafe. I felt like people were deceiving me. I felt like I was in a game of traitors, because you go into school one day and things felt okay, and then the next day they changed their mind or something had changed. It felt like they were all against me. I would write emails with the law and they'd say that's not true, or they'd send emails back that were very complicated and didn't make sense. But I got to the point where I knew they didn't make sense, because I knew the law by that point. I say, you're not following it. But there's no justice. So even though I could give you tons of examples of where they haven't followed the law, they haven't kept timelines, nobody cares about it.
Who is there to hold them to account?
Nobody.
No one.
So you could complain, but the complaints process is done internally. If you can be bothered at the end of that, sometimes it takes years, you can go to the local ombudsman, but then the same things happen over and over again. You don't learn the lessons from it. And when you complain, you set yourself as a target. So it's not easy to complain. I've sent probably about 6 complaints in total now, 3 to schools and 3 to the local authority. and it gets worse each time. Because it's very hard for professionals to recover from complaints. You know, if the parents complained about you, how do you then respond and act in those situations?
When you're the one
why do
dealing
I
with it.
respond to that? You've got to look after my kid every day, and I've just sent a complaint about you.
Hence the title of the book, really. Of
Sense.
Sense, the emails I sent and the silence that followed.